Number 9. The impossible element. Imagine you're a chemist in a lab, doing what chemists do, mixing things, heating things, probably hoping nothing blows up. You're working with a new synthetic element, a hyper-radioactive, unstable thing that's only been created for a split second. You've got your safety gear on, everything's contained, and you feel pretty much on top of the world. Then your Geiger counter starts to go absolutely berserk. The numbers are flashing faster than you can read them, and the sound is less of a tick and more of an angry, constant shriek. You look at your data and see something that's impossible. You're registering a new, highly stable element. A compound that should have disintegrated into nothing a billionth of a second ago is just hanging out. It's not just a discovery. It's a terrifying existential crisis. The laws of physics you base your entire career on suddenly feel less like ironclad rules and more like polite suggestions that this new element is choosing to ignore. Your brain, which is wired to find patterns and predictability, can't make sense of it. You're staring at something that shouldn't exist, and the terrifying realization dawns on you. You've just proven that reality, as you know it, has a loophole. Number 8. The silent screams of a dead thing. Back in the day, scientists had a charming little hobby of trying to reanimate dead animals. They'd hook up some frogs or even human corpses to electrical currents, hoping for a twitch, a flicker of life. It was a morbid parlor trick, an eerie, gothic experiment. But then a scientist tried a similar experiment on a fish and discovered something far more unsettling. By running a mild current through a deceased fish's muscles, they didn't just get a twitch. They got a sound. A faint, high-pitched screech like a tiny underwater scream. They repeated the experiment, and every time the dead fish would produce this strange, unearthly cry. The sound wasn't coming from its lungs or its throat. It was the result of a perfectly normal biological process. The electrical current was causing the muscle fibers to vibrate in a way that produced sound. But your brain doesn't care about the clinical explanation. It registers the sound of a silent, dead thing crying out. It's a sound that should be impossible. A phantom noise that tells you, on a primal level, that the line between living and dead is a lot blurrier and more permeable than you ever wanted to believe. Number 7. The ominous hum. For a long time, physicists were trying to figure out what was causing a bizarre, low-frequency hum that seemed to be everywhere. You'd build an expensive, ultra-sensitive piece of equipment, put it in a vacuum-sealed room, and it would still pick up this constant, rhythmic hum. Scientists thought it was a mechanical error. Maybe the building was vibrating. Maybe the Earth itself was making a sound. The search for the source became an obsession, a frantic global game of what is that noise? And the answer, when it finally came, was more unsettling than any of the initial theories. That hum wasn't a mechanical glitch or a sound coming from our planet. It was a cosmic hum, a constant background vibration caused by the constant, furious collisions of black holes and other massive objects in deep space. So, the whole time you've been sitting there convinced you're in a quiet, stable environment, you've actually been bathed in the noise of the universe itself, the death screams of stars, and the violent collisions of galaxies. Your brain just chooses to filter it out. The hum isn't a danger in the sense that it's going to hurt you, but it's a terrifying reminder that the peaceful, quiet existence you think you have is a lie. And the universe is a loud, violent place that you're only pretending to be safe in. Number 6, the virus that made you happy. Back in the 1950s, scientists were trying to understand how viruses worked, and they were testing them on a bunch of laboratory mice. They were looking for symptoms like fever or muscle weakness, the usual suspects. But one group of mice, who were infected with a very specific kind of virus, started to behave oddly. Instead of getting sick, they got a burst of energy. They became hyperactive, more social, and they just seemed ridiculously happy. The scientists were initially ecstatic. They thought they had stumbled upon a benign, feel-good virus, a mood booster in a tiny little package. But the more they studied it, the more they realized how deeply unsettling this was. This virus, a simple strand of genetic code, wasn't attacking their bodies. It was hacking their brains. It was changing their emotional state, bypassing their nervous system to create a chemical euphoria. It was the biological equivalent of a hacker getting into your computer and changing your fundamental personality settings. The chilling realization was that a virus could be a parasite not just of your body, but of your consciousness, turning you into a willing, smiling host. Number 5. The star that shouldn't be. Astronomers are always looking for things in space that defy our understanding, but sometimes they find something that breaks the rules so completely, it's terrifying. This happened with an object nicknamed the Impossible Star. It was a star that, based on all known physics, was impossible. Its light was too bright, its age was wrong, and its composition was a chaotic mess of elements that should never have existed together. Scientists theorized that it was just a statistical anomaly, a 1 in a trillion glitch in the universe's code. But the more they studied it, the more their data confirmed that this star was a living contradiction. The terrifying realization wasn't that the star was weird, but that it was a living example of a universe that's more chaotic and random than we ever thought. Our scientific models are all based on the idea that the universe follows predictable, rational laws. The impossible star was a cosmic middle finger to that idea, a reminder that the universe can, and will, do whatever it wants, and sometimes we're just too tiny to ever fully understand it. Number 4. The sound of the sun. Back in the day, the sun was a constant, a big fiery orb in the sky that we knew gave us light and heat. But then, we started sending satellites up there with better and better listening equipment. We wanted to hear what a star sounds like in theory. What we found was a sound so unsettling that it made people wonder if we were ever truly safe. The sun isn't just a quiet furnace. It's a living, breathing thing that produces a low, guttural roar. It's a deep, vibrating hum, a sound so primordial and powerful that hearing it makes you feel deeply insignificant. It's the sound of millions of tons of hydrogen fusing into helium every second, a constant, violent explosion that sounds like a living beast. This discovery was terrifying not because it was dangerous, but because it made us realize that the sun isn't just a constant source of warmth and light. It's a massive, violent thing that we're completely at its mercy. It's the sound of a god breathing. Number 3. The ghostly humming of a black hole. For a long time, black holes were just theoretical. We knew they were a thing, but we couldn't really see them. They were just an absence, a point where gravity was so intense that nothing, not even light, could escape. So when we developed the technology to detect them, scientists weren't looking for sound. They were looking for gravitational waves, for data, for the invisible traces of something that shouldn't make a noise. But one scientist, analyzing data from the Perseus galaxy cluster, found something that made them want to burn their research to the ground. They found a sound, a low, haunting hum, a ghostly echo coming from the center of the black hole. It wasn't the sound of a living thing, but of a cosmic organ playing a single, unchanging note. This wasn't a discovery of a new phenomenon. It was a discovery of something that defied the laws of physics. The terrifying realization was that black holes aren't just cosmic vacuums. They're instruments, and we're just listening to the song they play, a song that is both a physical impossibility and a terrifying, cold reality. Number 2. The loneliest planet. Imagine you're a scientist at a university, and your job is to find planets that might have life. You have a long list of criteria. It has to be in the Goldilocks zone where water can exist, it has to have an atmosphere, and it has to have a sun. It's a long shot, but you're optimistic. Then you find something that checks all the boxes, but with one horrifying twist. It's not orbiting a sun. It's a rogue planet, a planet that was ejected from its solar system long ago and is now just floating through the cold, lonely vacuum of space. It has liquid water, it has an atmosphere, and it has a beautiful blue-green hue. It's a perfect planet with no sun. This discovery was terrifying not because it meant we were alone, but because it made us realize just how fragile and fleeting our existence is. This planet is a reminder of a cataclysmic, violent event that sent it hurtling into darkness. It's a chilling reminder that we are just a cosmic blink away from being a frozen, dark rock hurtling through space. Number 1. The God particle that made everything random. For decades, physicists have been searching for the fundamental building blocks of the universe. They finally found one. The Higgs boson, a particle that gives other particles mass. It was hailed as the God particle, and everyone celebrated. But there was a chilling, terrifying twist that most people never heard about. The Higgs boson is unstable. If a random quantum fluctuation were to happen, it could cause the entire universe to change in an instant, and it would rip us apart. The terrifying realization is that we live in a universe that is a ticking time bomb. The very thing that gives us mass and holds everything together is also the thing that could destroy it all in a split second. The universe isn't a fixed, predictable place. It's a house of cards, and we're just waiting for the wind to blow.